Hi everybody. In the last section we have discussed how to create fruits and vegetable application, and we have learned lot many concepts there, like list view, how to display list view in Android application, how to give action to list items, and how to use the adapters, and also what do you mean by activity life cycle, how it is useful in Android applications, and what are the importance of activity life cycle. And also we have learned how to use tab, and what is the use of tab, and what are the loopholes that Android facing. So all those things we have learned in the previous section. So in this section I'll start with new application, so that is image gallery. Okay, so here you will learn gallery, how to display gallery in Android application, and how to use grid view in Android applications, and also menu, what are the different types of menu, what is the use of menu, why we have to go for menu. So all those things you will learn. And also I will explain how to create custom list view. Already I have explained how to create the list view, but in this section I will explain what do you mean by custom list view, how to design custom list view, all those things I will explain. And also we will see how to implement the custom adapters, and what are the uses of dialogues, what are the different types of dialogues, and also where we have to use the dialogues. So all those things we will learn in this section. Okay, so let us start with gallery. I hope you guys are familiar with gallery, because if you are using the smartphones, you can see all your images in the gallery application. But gallery word is used in many places, like you can say art gallery, where you can find the different types of paintings. Okay, so like this we use gallery word, but with respect to the Android, gallery means we use gallery for the to display the images. Okay, so let us start with gallery, and in this application later on we will add grid view along with your gallery. I'll show the demo for gallery first, and with that we can add grid view, and I will show how we can represent the images, if not how we can show the images to the user in different ways. So like first I will go with gallery, I will display the images in the gallery, then I will show how you can display with the grid view, and I will implement menu, like where you can select the option if you, in the same application, if you want to go for gallery, or if you want to see the images in grid view. Okay, so how to do that, all those things I will explain. Okay, so I will show the demo first. Okay, you will understand better what we will implement. So okay, you can see this, this is the gallery, actually image gallery. Okay, where you can see different images. Okay, you can slide it, and you can see different images here. Okay, so suppose you have some personal images or personal photos in your phone, and if you want to design your own application to see all those images. Okay, so by default you will be having one gallery application in your Android phone, but still if you want to design your own application to see the images, then I will show you how to design that. Okay, so this is the basic gallery, very simple, where it don't have any animations or any advanced concepts here, but we will start with basic gallery. Okay, so this is the basic gallery, and what I am doing is I am displaying many items here, many images, and if I click on any image, so it will take me to the next page, and it will show that image in a bigger size. Okay, so let us try to implement this first. Okay, and later on we will see what all the advanced concepts we can add it to this particular application. Okay, so let us start with this application. So before starting this, just I want to recall the list view. Just I want to show what and all we have learnt in list view. So if I want to design a list view, what I have to learn or what I should have. Okay, so the steps to create the list view are: first you should have the content. So collect the content in a array. I have explained all these steps in detail in previous tutorials. You can go through those tutorials if you want to see how to design the list view. Okay, so first you have to collect the data. Okay, you can collect it into a array or array list. So the second step is we have to create a adapter. So if you say I want to display some items in a list manner, then you should know what items you want to display. If not, if I want to display some names in a list view, you should know which names you have to display. So that is nothing but your content. Now the second step is create adapter. You want to display those names in a list, but how you want to design that list view? What should be the width of that list item, or what should be the color of that list item? So all those things you have to define it using the adapter. If not, you can say adapter is used to create the list items. It uses three parameters. One is the context, where you want to display the list view. The second one is layout for your list item. Then the item content, means if you want to display any name, you have to pass that name. I will show all those things once again. After creating adapter, the next step is you have to set that adapter to the list view. Okay, so why I am explaining list view means, in Android basically all the views like list view, gallery view, grid view, all those things works in a same manner. So if you want to create the gallery also, you have to follow the same steps. But with this, the difference in the gallery is, here we are using the predefined adapter, that is array adapter, because you have the content in an array, like array of string or array of integer. But with the case of images, whenever you want to display the images, so at that time you can't go with the array adapter. Instead of that, you have to write your own adapter. So here I will explain one more step, that is how to create the custom adapter. Okay, so here create adapter means here we have to create the custom adapter. So I will show this how to create custom adapter, and after that you have to set the adapter to the list view. This is the standard step. With gallery we will go with the custom adapter. Okay, so let us start coding now. So I'll create the new application. I think you guys have seen this, right? So this is the gallery. Okay, so let us start coding now. So create a new application. So I think I need not to explain the steps once again how to create an application, because as of now we have completed almost 4 activities, means 4 projects we have completed. So you should be well aware, or you should have very much familiar with how to create Android application. Okay, so let us create a new application. So click on file, go to new option, select Android application project. Okay, so here I'll give the name as, what is the name of our application? It is image gallery. Okay, so you can change the package name if you wish, but I'll keep the same package name. So click on next button. Okay, here you can select any icon for your application. So I'll keep the default one. Click on next, select blank activity. So use next option. So here I will change the activity name. I'll give the name as home. Click on finish. Okay, so here is your first application, or first page in your Android application. I will delete this hello world. Okay, you can see the outline. You have only one relative layout. Now as I explained, here we are designing the gallery. So where I have to find that component? Where is the gallery? So go to images and media. You can find the gallery here. Okay, so select gallery, drag and drop it into your screen. You can drop it on your layout. If not, you can drop it into the outline. Okay, so drop it on your relative layout. So here it is not showing where it has been added. So but if you go to the XML code, you can check it out. Here is your gallery. Okay, so but here it is predefined width and height, so we will change it. I'll change width as fill parent. Okay, and height I will change it as 250 dp. Okay, you can check it now. Can you see that? Here is your gallery, but we have not added any images here, so it is showing a blank. Okay, so I will drag it a little bit down. You can check it out. Okay, so here is our gallery. Now as I told, whenever you are adding any component to XML file, the first step should be you have to change the ID. So you can change it in two ways. You can go to XML code and you can change it here, this one. If not, you can directly change it in the graphical view itself. So I will change it in the graphical view. Select your component, right click, edit ID. So it is showing current ID is gallery 1. Just I will make a small change here. It is gallery 1 underscore home. Okay, so now after changing the ID, go to your Java code, where it is, open your source folder, open the package. Here is your Java file. Okay, open the Java file, your home class. Now inside this you have two methods. We don't require that, so here is your onCreate method. So you have to follow the basic steps. We have added the gallery to XML file, so you have to declare that component here. So I will take gallery, I'll give the name as gallery with starting with small letter. Okay, so it is deprecated in the latest version, so you need not to bother. Just let us try to implement this. Okay, so now after declaring this component, we have to initialize that. How to do that? Gallery is equal to, it is a gallery, find that gallery by ID. So what is the ID? R dot ID dot, we haven't saved the changes, save it. Now it will show gallery 1 underscore home. So this is the ID. End the statement. Okay, so look into your steps. As I told, designing list view and gallery view both are same. So first you need the content. So what content we will display here? Check with this demo. We have to display the images. So images are our content. So now collect some images. So if I have some images, where I have to add them? I have to add it to the drawable folders. Okay, so in the previous application, I think in our images application we have collected some images, so I'll copy those images. Okay, you can check it out here. We have some 9 images here, so select those images. You can copy those images. Okay, you can use Ctrl C, if not you can use right click, click on copy. Okay, so now go to your application and paste them into your drawable folder. So I'll paste it here. Can you see that you have the images now? Now how to use these images in your Java code? So is there any array called as image array? No. Okay, so instead of taking an array for images, what we can do is, here each and every image will carry a ID. Suppose if I want to use any image here, I have to use it using the ID. It means I can access this image using the ID of that. So what is the ID? You can check which type. You can check this is for a layout. If not, this is for a gallery component. Okay, so it is ID is this one, but it is a integer value. Okay, in the same way, let us create an array of integer. I'll create an array of integer. Okay, I'll give the name as images. Okay, how to create the array? So here, as I told, we have to add the IDs, because IDs for all these images are integer values. Okay, so what is the ID of this image? So ID is r dot drawable dot pick1. Okay, you can check it out when I described or when I explained how to design the play with images application. At that time I have explained how to use images in Android application. Okay, so in the same way, by using the ID of that particular image, we can access that image. So that's what I am doing here. Instead of taking the images directly, I am using the IDs here. Okay, so take the IDs of all other images also. R dot ID dot, sorry, it's not the ID, it is drawable. Okay, R dot drawable dot your pick2. Okay, R dot drawable dot pick3. Okay, just I will copy this. Okay, and I'll paste it. Okay, we have to change it here. It is 4, then it is 5, 6, 7 and 8. Okay, I'll take 8 images. Just you can break the line using Control Shift F. Well, so this is our content. So this array contains IDs for all your images. So our first step is ready. We have collected the content into a array. Now what is our next step? We have to create the adapter. So as I told, we can't use the array adapter here. So let us see how to use our custom adapter, if not how to create our own adapter. Okay, so to do that you have to follow some steps. If you want, you can note it down. Okay, first we have to create the class. So how to create the class? Select the package, right click, go to new option, click on class. Okay, here I'll give the name as image adapter. Remember, this is the adapter which we are creating. Okay, so I'll give the name as image adapter. You can give any name here. Click on finish. So just we have created one class. So now here we have to implement the basic functionality of the adapter. What adapter will do? Basically it will take the content, it will take the layout, okay, and it will create the items for a list view, if not for any other views like gallery view or grid view. Okay, so that is the purpose of adapter. Now to implement those basic functionalities in our class, what we have to do? We have to extend the base adapter. Okay, so this base adapter provides the basic functionalities required for your adapter. Okay, those basic functionalities are, it has to create the views, if not it has to create the items for your list view, gallery view or grid view. Okay, so now after extending base adapter, here it is showing the error. You can keep the cursor there. It is asking you to add unimplemented methods. Okay, so click on that. You can check it out here. So it has added some methods for you. Okay, I'll go one by one. So the first method here is get count. Okay, so before starting this, so this is your class image adapter. For that, let us write one constructor. So what is constructor? It's a block where you can initialize the variables, your local variables or your local variables of your class. Okay, so and what is the syntax for your constructor? See, if you want to learn much about constructors and other concepts in Java, please look into our foundation course. You can see the Java content and you can start learning Java. Okay, so here just I'll explain how to create the constructor. Okay, it should not it should have the public access, so use public access specify here, and the constructor should not have any return type, so don't use any return type here, and the constructor name is same as your class name, so use the constructor name. Then okay, so this is your constructor. Now if you have any confusion here, you can directly type your class name. It will show the option default constructor. Okay, you can select that. So this is your default constructor. I don't want this comment, so I will remove that. Okay, so here previously you can see our previous section where we have created the list view. Okay, I'll show that. Here is our fruits and vegetables application. So whenever we have created our fruits and vegetables application, there if you want to display the list view, you can check it here. Okay, so if you want to design the list view, so first we have taken the content. You can see this is our content. After that, whenever you are creating the list view, you have created the adapter. So whenever you are trying to create an object for your adapter, at that time you can check it, you are passing some parameters. What are those parameters? The first one is context. You are passing the context. Second parameter is you are passing the layout for your list item. Remember, this is not the layout for your complete list view. It is the layout for your list item, and then your content or the values what you want to display on the list view. Okay, so now in the same way as now we are creating our own adapter, but it should accept all these three parameters. Okay, so for that purpose, go to your image adapter. In the constructor, inside the constructor, you have to accept some parameters. Okay, so the first parameter should be context. Okay, I'll give the variable name as ctx. Now after context, what else you are sending? The second parameter is the layout for your list item. So here in your image adapter, we will design the layout inside this class itself. So let us not bother about the layout here. So what is your third parameter then? You have to pass the values or the content what you want to display it on the list view. Now here you have to accept that. So how to accept that? So you have to create one array here, because you are sending the data integer. Check it out, the values are here integer values, so you have to accept integer values here. So I'll create one integer array. Okay, so I'll give the name as images. Okay, imgs. So now this access for this two variables is only within this constructor. So now, but I want to use these two values in other than your constructor. So what I have to do? I have to create two variables inside the class, so that I can assign these two values to our class variables, and we can use those variables inside a class. Okay, so here I'll create two variables. One is context. I'll give the name as mContext. Okay, and other variable should be of type integer array. So I will take integer array, and I will name it as mimages. Okay, now I will assign those two variables. Okay, mContext is equal to whatever the context you receive from your activity, that I will assign it to this variable. In the same way, your mimages is equal to what all the values you get it from your activity. Okay, so now in our adapter we have the context, it means where we have to display the items, and we have the images, what we have to display it on the items. Okay, now let us start with another method, or with our first method, that is our get count. So as method name explains, get count means whenever the Android system calls this particular method, it has to return the count, means count of items. So how you will get the count of items? Number of items, that is based on your content, based on your integer size, or sorry, based on your array size of the content. So it will create the item. Suppose in your integer array you have some 4 items, then Android system will create a gallery view with 4 items. Okay, so based on the size of your content, it will create the items. So here you have to mention the size of your array, if not length of the array. Okay, so remember, these images are the images which you will get it from the activity. So inside the adapter, it is used for to generate the views. So it requires the count, means whenever Android system calls the get count method, you have to return number of values here. Okay, so that's it with the get count method. Now moving further, you have to get, if your Android system is calling get item. Okay, so here you have to return the item. Item means the particular view. Okay, but how you will know which item you have to give it to the Android system? So for that purpose, Android is sending, you have to give item with this position. You can say this int argument 0 is nothing but position. Okay, so it is whenever Android systems calls this method get item, and it will pass the position of that item. So based on that position you have to return the value. So now you have the position and you have the content here inside the images array. So now how to pass the value, how to pass the item? Just you have to use your array images and you have to collect the value which is at this particular position. Okay, it means if it is asking for 0th element inside your array, so here you can collect the 0th element from the array and you can pass it to your Android system. Okay, so now after that you have get item ID. So as of now you need not to bother about ID. So let us pass the return 0 because we won't go with multiple items on your gallery. So we will go with the plain or simple gallery view. So let us not bother about your get item ID as of now. So I will make it as 0 only. Okay, so now the important step in your gallery design is get view. So this is the place where you have to generate or you have to create your own item or your own view. Okay, suppose in a list view, if you are displaying a list view, so in the list view you have to design each and every list item, but here we are designing the gallery. So the purpose of this get view method is we have to design the items for the gallery view, if not for the gallery. Okay, so how to design the items? But as I explained before, whenever the design purpose, whenever we go for the design, at that time we have to use the XML. Okay, but here there is an option, you can design a UI for using Java also. So now I will show you how you can create or how you can design UI for Android application using Java code, because till now we were doing it using only XML. Okay, so now let us start. So as we have to display the images in gallery view, you can see this, we have to display the images here. This is the gallery view. Okay, so you can check it out, this is the gallery view. Okay, and all these images are called as items in gallery view. Now in those items what we are displaying? We are displaying the images. So if I want to design this gallery view, I have to design the image view first or the image first. Okay, so I will show how to do that. So first, as we have to display the images, so we need image view. I have explained this concept. If you want to display the image, so you have to go with the image view. So I will take image view. Okay, I'll give the name as img view is equal to new image view. Okay, new image view. You can see this, it is asking for parameter, one parameter. What is that? Context. It means if you want to create a view or any component, UI component in Java code, then you have to provide the context. So that's why we are taking the context from your activity. You can see that whenever you want to use this adapter, compulsorily you have to pass the context. Okay, so you can understand why we are asking for the context, because if you want to generate the view here, you need the context. So what is the context we are using, or we have collected? That is M context. You can check it out. This is the M context. Okay, for this variable we are assigning the value which you will get it from your activity. Okay, so now go down. So we have created the image view. Now after creating the image view, what you can do with the image view? You have to display a image on that. So how to display the image? Image view dot set image resource. It's very simple. I have explained all these steps in our previous sessions. You can go through this, go through those videos if you want to learn about images. So now use set image resource. So it is asking for the ID. So where are these IDs? So we have collected all those IDs into our array. You can check it out here. This is the array. So to that array I have collected the images which have been sent from our activity. Okay, so now go down. In that, see here we can't display all the images at once, because the purpose of this get view is it will create one item. Okay, so first we have created the image view. Now for that image view we have to set one particular image. So which image I have to set? So based on the position. Okay, see, look at here. Here it provides some parameters to you. Okay, so inside that the first parameter is nothing but your position. Okay, suppose the position is 0, means you are generating the first item in your gallery view. Then here you have to collect the first item from your array. So here it is, here is your image array. So from that you have to collect the first item, that is 0. Now if you are generating the second item, so you have to collect the item at position 1, if not 2, 3, like this, based on the view which you are generating, whether it is first item or second item or third item. Based on that you have to collect the images and you have to set it to the image view. Okay, so for that purpose only it is giving you the position. So now use that position here. Okay, it means if the position is 0, means you are generating the first item. Okay, you are creating the image view and you are setting an image from your image array to the image view, which is at the position 0. Now if position is 1, means you are generating second item. Okay, you will collect the second value or second image from your image array and you will set it to the image view. Okay, so this is how you can create the items here. Now after this, suppose if you are adding any button to your XML file, what you will do? You will define the layout width and layout height. Okay, in the same way here also we have to define, and also you have a lot of other options, like where you can say that particular button has to it has to sit in the center of the screen, or it has to go to top, if not at the bottom, or if not at the right top corner. So like this you can position the item. In the same way here also I want to position the item, so I will say image view dot okay, I will set the scale type. Okay, basically scale type is used if I see I want to display the image with only this much of size. If not, it has to fit the screen. If not, if I am displaying in a page, look at here, if I am displaying some 3 images. Okay, so and this is the complete one block, if not one item. If this is one item in gallery view, now how much space this particular item has to take? Okay, so that is called as scale type. So here I will use the scale type as Okay, it is scale type dot. You have different options here. Okay, I'll go with fit to center. Okay, it is very simple. See, if you are creating the gallery view here, okay, there are different items. So now inside that item, how much space it has to occupy. If you want to scale this image, like if you have different images with different sizes, and if you want to scale them to fit the item, so at that case you have to go with image view dot set scale type. Okay, so here you can end the statement. So now after that we have to set the width and height of your image view. So how to do that? Take the image view dot set layout parameters. We have to set the layout parameters. So set layout params. So here there is a small confusion because we are defining this image inside a gallery. So now based on the gallery we have to define the width and height of the image view. Okay, so for that purpose here we have to use take new gallery dot. For this you have to use the layout parameters. So within the gallery you have to use the layout parameters. Okay, it is asking for width and height. So here width I will give it as fill parent. If not, I will use the default size of the image. So how to use that? Use layout params dot. You can see the options here: fill parent, match parent, or wrap content. I will go with the wrap content. Height, I will specify the height. Okay, here I will give it as some 250 dp actually. So end the statement. Okay, I will repeat the steps here. So here we are generating the or we are designing the UI for grid view using Java code. So for that first you have to create the image view, because using only image view you have to display the images. So now after creating your image view, set the image for that. So you have to collect the images from your array. So after that you can scale the image. Okay, you can use different options here. You can check it out. You have a lot of options. You can try with other options also. So now after that you have to set the width and height of that particular image. Okay, so as we are using that image view inside the gallery view, you have to take the context, or you have to create the object of gallery first, and then you have to specify the width and height for that image view. Okay, so now we have generated or we have created the item for our gallery. Now that item you have to return it. So how to do that? Just you have to return the image view. Okay, so now we have created our adapter. Now go back to your main activity. So this is the main activity where we have to display the gallery. So we have to follow the basic steps. So go to your notes. Here is the first statement. We have to collect the content that we have already done. We have to create the adapter. Remember, as we are creating this adapter, this is called as custom adapter. Okay, so after creating this adapter, but just we have designed the adapter, that adapter we have to create it inside our activity. So how to do that? So what is the adapter name? It is image adapter. So how to create the object for that? Use image adapter. I'll give the name as adapter is equal to new image adapter. It is asking two parameters. One is context, second one is images. Okay, so what do you mean by context? It's nothing but where you want to display those things. So what is the context for this activity? It is om dot this. Okay, second parameter is the content. So here is your content, copy that, paste it here. Okay, so now after creating the adapter, what is your third step? You have to set the adapter to the list view, but here we are designing the gallery, so you have to set adapter to the gallery. So take gallery variable dot set adapter. Okay, pass the adapter, save the changes and run the application. Okay, so before okay, I'll run the application first. Okay, here is our application. Okay, so select the application, execute the application, run as, run configurations, browse and select your application. Here it is, image gallery. Okay, always it has to prompt to pick the device, apply the changes and click on run option. Okay, so select your device. Now let us check it out. I'll go back. You can check the status. Okay, installation success for image gallery application. So I'll check where it is. Okay, here is your image gallery application. Can you see that? It is displaying the images. Now you can drag it. Okay, can you see that? You have different images here, but the problem is when you see this, it seems like they are overlapping. Okay, so but basically they are showing it in a different style. So but to some extent you can see like it's overlapping. So instead of that, what we will do is we will give some space in between the images. So for that, go to your XML file. So here in your XML code, this is the gallery. So here you can add the space between images. So just add one attribute called as spacing. Okay, I'll give the space as 10 dp. Now select your application and run it. Okay, you can see here now you have some space between images. Okay, so now our next step is, here it is showing images in a gallery. Now suppose if I click on this particular image, now it has to go to next page and it has to display this particular image in a bigger size. So how to do that? So if you want to implement that action, you have to create one new activity or new page in your application. So how to create the page? The same steps you have to follow, like how I explained in almost all the applications, like previous applications. First we have to create the XML file. How to do that? Select layout, right click, create one Android XML file. Okay, so here I'll give the name as page 2. You can select any layout, click on finish. So here is your page 2. So now what we have to do here, we have to display the image in a bigger size. So for that you have to use the image view. Okay, so where is image view? Open the images and media. So here is your image view. So drop it to your linear layout. It is asking which image you want to display. So as of now I'll go with the IC launcher. So you can see here the width and height is very less. So what we have to do, let us change the width and height of this particular image view. I'll make this as fill parent and even height also fill parent. You can check the image view now. It is filling your screen. Okay, so I'll change the ID for this. Edit ID. I'll give it as image view 1, but it is displayed in page 2. So now go to your Java code. Okay, it means we have to create the Java file now. So select the package, right click, go to new option, select class. Here I'll give the name as page 2, click on finish. So it has to extend the activity. Okay, so implement the onCreate method. What should be the first line here? After your super call, you have to establish the link between XML file and Java code. So how to do that? Use set content view. Pass r dot layout dot your page 2. Okay, so which components we are using in page 2? We are using only image view. I'll give the variable name as img. Okay, so you have to initialize that. Your image is equal to, it's a image view, then find that view by ID. Find view by ID or dot, it is not layout, use ID dot. So we have to change, we have to say the changes. Here is your image view page 2. Okay, so save the changes. So what is the purpose of this image view? We have to display the image which has been clicked in our previous activity in the gallery. Here we have to display it in a bigger size. Okay, so for that, this particular activity has to understand on which item the user has clicked. Okay, so that information we have to pass from our home page to page 2. Okay, so whenever user clicks on any item in a gallery, so which method will listen that event? So for that you have one method called as it is same as your list view, gallery dot set on item click listener. Okay, set on item click listener. So here you have to use new on click listener, new on item click listener. So you have to implement that. You have to import it first, then you have to implement it. Okay, so it means you have to add the unimplemented method and you have to define it. Okay, you can check out you can check the parameters here. It provides 4 parameters as I explained in the list view. The first parameter will be your parent view or adapter view. The second one will be the item or the view which is present inside the adapter view. The third parameter is position of that item, and then the fourth parameter is the ID. Okay, so now based on this I will end the statement here. So based on this, based on the position, you can understand on which item the user has clicked. Okay, suppose this position is 0 means you can say user has clicked on this particular image. If it is 1 means user has clicked on your second image. Okay, so this information you have to pass it to your page 2 so that in page 2 we can display the image in a bigger size. So whenever user clicks on any item in your gallery, okay, whenever user clicks on any item here, so we have implemented the on item click listener. So and we have to pass the information about that particular item. So now if you want to pass the information or if you want to navigate from this activity to next activity, we have to implement the intent. So use intent. Intent I is equal to new intent. You have to pass the information about this from where to where you have to navigate, that is from your home page to your page 2 home dot this, you have to navigate to page 2 dot class. Okay, so now you have to pass the information through this intent. For that, I dot put extra. Okay, so here what we have to pass? We have to pass the ID of that particular image on which user has clicked. Okay, so how to pass that? Here I'll give the key as ID and the value is from your images. You have to collect the value. Okay, it is images. Okay, so from the images you have to collect the ID of a image on which user has clicked. On which he has clicked means based on this position. Okay, so this is the image array. From that you have to collect the image which is present at this particular position. Okay, so end the statement, then start activity. Okay, we have to pass the intent and the statement. Okay, I'll repeat this step once again. See, if you want to display an image in a bigger size in your page 2, the page 2 has to understand on which item user has clicked. So to send that information, here we are implementing, first we are taking the intent to navigate between pages, then through that intent we are passing the information on which user has clicked. It means in your on click method you will get one parameter called as position. This is the position of your item on which user has clicked. So based on this position you can collect the image from your array and you can pass it to page 2. That's what I am doing here. Okay, based on this position collect the image ID and pass it to page 2. Okay, then start the activity. Now will it work if I execute this program? No, obviously, because whenever you are creating any page in an Android application, immediately we have to add it to the Android manifest file. So open Android manifest file, select your application tab, go down, add the activity. So which activity we have to add? As we have created page 2, so here you can browse it. Okay, so here is your page 2. Select, click on OK, and immediately you have to save the changes. Now select your application and run it. Okay, select the device, click on OK. Okay, so this is your image gallery. Now if I click on any item, okay, so here we are passing the information, but in your page 2 we have to collect that information and we have to set that particular image. So go to your page 2. How to collect the information here? Take bundle. Okay, so implement get intent, then get extras, end the statement. Now as we are passing an integer value from your home page, because we are passing the ID here. Okay, so collect the integer value. I will take int id is equal to your bundle dot get int. Okay, what is the key? You can check it out in your home page. The key is id. Okay, end the statement. Now using this id you can set image to your image view. This is our image view dot set image resource. Okay, you just pass the ID, it will set the image. Now execute the program. This one. Can check the status. I think still it is installing. Okay, now yeah, it has started the application. So here is your application. If you click on any item, it will go to the next page and it will display that particular image in a bigger size. You can check it with other items also. Okay, so this is how the gallery works in Android. If not, this is how we can design gallery in Android application. Now in the next session I will show how we can display these images in a grid view. It means this is gallery view. So in the next session I will explain how to display them in a grid view. Grid is nothing but it is like a table. So how to display these images in a table, and for each column header you can give the action. It means all these images will look like they are inside the table, but for each image you can give the action. Means you can click on the image and you can navigate to other page. If not, you can show any message or whatever the action you want to define, you can define it inside the on click listener of your grid view.